Hello and welcome to Wavescan, the international DX program from Adventist World Radio. Researched and written by Dr. Adrian Peterson in Indianapolis and produced in the studios of WRMI Shortwave in Miami. I'm Jeff White. Today on Wavescan, 100 Years of Wireless and Radio in Bulgaria, Part 1. The story of an old Newfoundland postcard. Did Marconi really hear the letter S across the Atlantic? And our Philippines DX report. The southeast European nation of Bulgaria is located in the heart of what is sometimes called the Balkan Peninsula. As the tourist brochure states, Bulgaria is a territory of 111,000 square kilometers, or 43,000 square miles, and is washed by the flowing waters of the Blue Danube in the north, and by the splashing waves of the Black Sea in the east. High, rugged mountain ranges are found to the west, and wide plains and verdant valleys to the south. The tourist brochure goes on to tell us that the Black Sea was known in ancient times as Pontus Euxinus, the Friendly Sea, with an average of 280 sunny days each year. The clean blue water is without ebb and flow. The salt content is quite low, and there is a gradual slope from the beach into deeper waters. It is said that the Black Sea derives its name from the fact that heavy fogs in the wintertime occasionally make the waters appear black. The main beach resort on the edge of the Black Sea in Bulgaria is Golden Sands, and if you could see across to the far coastline, 700 miles distant, you would catch your first glimpse of the western edge of Asia. The entire country of Bulgaria is just 300 miles across from east to west and 170 miles from north to south, with a total population of around 8 million people. The capital city, Sofia, is both ancient and modern, and it is located rather near to the western border with Serbia. The history of Bulgaria goes way back into antiquity, and the first settlers were the Thracians, who migrated into the area some 3,000 years ago. The territory was conquered by Alexander the Great. It was absorbed into the old Roman Empire, and the Slavic and Bulgar peoples moved in around 1,500 years ago. History tells us that the first Bulgarian kingdom was established in the year 681 A.D. Bulgaria remained neutral at the beginning of World War I, and a quarter century later, it was heavily involved in World War II. The Russians came in on September 8, 1944, though Bulgaria has subsequently become a parliamentary democracy. Bulgaria is famous for its flower gardens containing the Bulgarian rose, which is the country's national flower. The delightfully unique Bulgarian rose is shown as a national emblem on one of the QSL cards issued by Radio Sofia more than half a century ago. These pretty flowers may be seen everywhere in Bulgaria, and you may breathe its fragrance in the commercial gardens in the Valley of the Roses, which is located in central Bulgaria. Bulgaria produces 80% of the world's rose oil. Bulgaria is also noted for its pretty folk music. Perhaps you might like to listen to this appealingly delightful folk music from Bulgaria. And that music was from the Folk Music Orchestra of the Bulgarian National Radio. Wireless in Bulgaria is now 100 or more years old. It was in the year 1896 that the first wireless equipment was imported into Bulgaria for experimental use by the National Post Office and by the Bulgarian Army. It would appear that this equipment could have been a mixture of items, maybe from England and or Germany and or Russia. However, it was during the year 1903 that the Bulgarian Army assembled a set of wireless equipment and made the first known wireless transmissions in their country. The location for this historic wireless event was at a military encampment near Sofia, their national capital. It was during the year 1911 that wireless equipment was installed aboard the 13-year-old torpedo gunboat, the Nadezhda, in the Black Sea. During the following year, 1912, the Nadezhda made wireless contact with the very new wireless station located in the military encampment at Franga, near Varna, close to the Black Sea coast. That major wireless development took place exactly 100 years ago. The original call sign of this land-based radio station was FRG, an abbreviation of its location name, Franga. And even way back then, the station was available to the general public for the transmission of wireless telegrams in Morse code. At this time, 1912, the Franga-Varna station is listed as the only wireless station in the entire nation of Bulgaria. When international call signs were allocated a few years later, the wireless station at Franga was granted the call sign LZP. However, in more recent time, the maritime radio station at Varna has identified on air under the call sign VZW. During the year 1914, a new wireless station was installed at Sofia, and soon afterwards, 3 additional wireless stations were installed in areas nearby to Sofia. In 1926, the government called for tenders for the erection of a modern radio station in the Sofia area, and this contract was awarded to the Marconi Company at Chelmsford in England. This new communication station was ready for on-air usage in 1929, and one of the 3 transmitters was a long-wave unit for use in Morse code and voice transmission on the long-wave channel 105 kHz. And that's as far as we go in the Bulgarian wireless and radio scene today. Next month, we plan to present the story of early radio broadcasting in Bulgaria. For our identification signal today, it's not exactly an identification signal, but it's the beginning of the transmission from this past Tuesday of Radio Bulgaria.
Hello and welcome to Radio Bulgaria's Tuesday show. I'm Daniela Konstantinova. On a sunny yet chilly day in snow-covered Sofia, we open up with our current affairs program. Prime Minister Boyko Borisov and US President Barack Obama discussed bilateral cooperation in defense and security at their meeting in the White House on Monday. A little bit further into the program, we focus on the demographic situation in Bulgaria and the country's aging population. Also, a new Bulgarian invention made with rose oil, a perfumed candy, is growing more and more popular in markets in Europe, Asia and the United States. In the second half of today's show, and your 30 minutes of Bulgarian music, the latest album of folk singer Ljubka Rondova and the Goce Delchev Ensemble, produced by the Bulgarian National Radio, features a selection of little-known songs dedicated to the First Balkan War of 1912-1913. These are the items coming up on Radio Bulgaria's program today, as we add another touch to a unique panorama of stories and views from this part of the world. Stay with us.
Unfortunately, Radio Bulgaria is no longer heard on shortwave since a year or so ago, but you can still listen to their daily programs in English and other languages via their website, which is bnr.bg.
You're listening to Wavescan from Adventist World Radio. Send your comments and reception reports to Wavescan, Box 29235, Indianapolis, Indiana 46229 in the United States. That's Wavescan, Box 29235, Indianapolis, Indiana 46229 in the USA. Or you can email us at wavescan@awr.org. Our email once again, wavescan@awr.org.
And now to the story of the old Newfoundland postcard and Marconi's letter S. It was on Thursday, December 12th, in the year 1901, that Marconi claimed to have successfully received a wireless transmission from Poldhu in Cornwall at his temporary listening location near St. John's on the North American island of Newfoundland. It is stated that the radiating equipment at Poldhu was a 75-kilowatt spark transmitter, which is operating somewhere in what we would today call the long wave, or maybe the medium wave band. The signal was fed into a temporary vertical fan antenna system. The receiving equipment at the old hospital building near Cabot Tower on Signal Hill, St. John's, Newfoundland, was a long wire antenna held aloft by a balloon or a kite, a simple untuned coherer detector, and a set of headphones. It is suggested that the transmitter was radiating on several harmonic frequencies in addition to the emission on the fundamental frequency, and it is quite probable that the receiver was also receiving some of the untuned harmonics as well as the fundamental. That event is dated exactly 111 years ago tomorrow, Monday, December 12th, 2012. However, all throughout these many years it has been quite popular to deny the veracity of the event and to declare that Marconi and his assistant George Kemp did not actually hear the letter S transmitted across the Atlantic from England, but instead they simply heard the crash of static produced by strong winter storms. It is true in the headphones the actual sound of static and the sound of a spark from a distant wireless transmitter were quite the same in that era. However, there is a real difference between the irregular sounds created by lightning and the regular rhythmic sound of a continuous stream of the letter S, 3 dots in Morse code. We should remember also that both Marconi and Kemp listed in their diaries the times and the dates when they state that they heard the letter S from England. The Marconi diary shows that he heard the signal from Poldhu on 14 separate occasions during the Thursday and Friday, and the Kemp diary shows that he heard the signal on 11 separate occasions, a total of 25 times altogether. In addition, it is known that lower frequency radio transmissions in the middle of winter at a low sunspot count can cover quite long distances, as is revealed also in observed medium wave coverage during similar conditions in Australia and New Zealand. However, in the middle of last year, an interesting original postcard was offered on eBay, and the message on this postcard tends to confirm the fact that it was believed in Newfoundland at this time that Marconi did indeed achieve what he said he achieved. The message was written in black ink onto a 2-penny Newfoundland postal card with the printed postage stamp in orange showing a portrait of Queen Victoria. The message was written on January 15th, 1902, just a little over a month after Marconi's stated reception of the wireless signal from England. The card was addressed to Mr. William Codner at 18 Wickford Street, St. John's, though the sender did not give his own name nor complete address. This card was posted at Broad Cove, NS, indicating North Shore, to distinguish it from another place with a similar name, and it was carried by the old Conception Bay Railway. 3 postal cancellation dates show January 18th and 20th, 1902. The message on the card reads as follows: Dear Sir, you will please tell your friend the adjutant, who is at St. John's, that a mistake was made in reference of date of first message wireless telegraphy received in Newfoundland. For factual information, please mention right date first message across the Atlantic was received from Lizard Point in Cornwall at 11:20 a.m. Wednesday, the 11th November, 1901. And then there were 2 illegible initials. The writer accuses the adjutant of making a mistake regarding the correct date for the first Morse message across the Atlantic. But he himself makes several mistakes, due no doubt to his reliance upon his own memory, and not checking up on the accuracy of the information. We would see the mistakes on this 110-year-old postcard as follows. First, the writer spells the word reference incorrectly as R-E-F-E-R-A-N-C-E. He also spells the word factual incorrectly as F-A-C-T-U-L-E. There were two Marconi wireless stations located on the southern coast of Cornwall, 6 miles apart. The station at Lizard was subsidiary to Poldhu. The Poldhu station was the one that morsed the letter S to Newfoundland, not the Lizard station. Fourth, the 11th of November in the year 1901 was not a Wednesday, instead it was a Monday. And number 5, it is true that Poldhu did send the letter S to Newfoundland on Wednesday the 11th of December, but the Marconi Kemp diaries and subsequent news reports indicate that the signals on the first day were not received reliably at St. John's. The first verified reception, it is stated, was on the next day, Thursday, December 12th, 1901. What is the writer of the card trying to say? In spite of his 5 mistakes, he is endeavoring to state that the first reception of a transatlantic wireless signal occurred at 11:20 a.m. Newfoundland time on Wednesday, December 1st, 1901. It is true there are reports that the signal was heard on that date, though neither Marconi nor Kemp considered that the reception was sufficiently attested due to the many changing conditions. On this, the first day, several attempts were made at reception, but many logistical problems intervened, including the fact that a large balloon broke loose, taking the long antenna wire with it. Continuous attempts at reception on the first listening day were impossible. Why did the unidentified writer write to Mr. William Codner? Was he the editor, or maybe the reporter for the local newspaper in St. John's? Who was the adjutant? Was he interviewed about these Marconi events by the local newspaper? I guess we'll never know. But the postcard, with all of its mistakes, does throw light onto the fact that at least one Newfoundlander at the time believed that Marconi did indeed receive the letter S across the Atlantic on that memorable occasion. Maybe the radio historians should be arguing as to which day should be listed as the first day of reception, Wednesday, December 11th, 1901, or Thursday, December 12th, 1901, rather than questioning as to whether a signal was heard at all. Next on Wavescan today, since we're talking about Bulgaria, let's listen to the national anthem of Bulgaria.
Hello everyone, to our dear shortwave listeners. Good evening, good morning, wherever you are. Welcome to the December 9th edition of the Philippine DX News. This is report number 70. I'm Henry Umaday Nantique, Central Philippines. Glad to be back and thank you for listening. I would like to thank our DXer friends for the reception reports. V12 English shortwave broadcast to Asia and Oceania, starting October 29, 2012. Adventist World Radio, AWR, 1530 to 1600, 15 to 55 from Sri Lanka, Saturday to Wednesday, 16 to 1630, 15 to 15 and 15660 from KSDA Guam daily. 1630 to 1700, 15660 from KSDA Guam daily. 2230 to 2300, 320 from KSDA Guam daily. And 2330 to 17700 from KSDA Guam daily. Voice of Turkey, 2130 to 2225, 9690 from Emerler, Turkey daily. KTWR Transworld Radio, 0850 to 0930, 15200 from Guam, Monday to Friday. 1000 to 1030, 11840 from Guam, Monday to Saturday. 1400 to 1535, 15225 kilohertz from Guam daily. KNNS Alaska, 1100 or 1000 to 1100, 9655 daily. 1200 to 1300, 7355 daily. 15 to 1600, 9650 daily. Voice of Iran Broadcasting, 1530 to 1628, 11945 and 13780 daily. KBS World Radio, 0800 to 0900, 9570, 1300 to 1400, 9570, and 1400 to 1500, 9640. HCJB Global Australia, 0245 to 0300, 15400, 0730 to 0930, 11750, and 1230 to 1300, 15400, Sunday to Friday only. Radyo Pilipinas Overseas, 1730 to 930, 93950, 11720, and 15190 kilohertz daily. Reception lag, November 13, Radyo Pilipinas in English from 0200 to 0300 in 15285 kilohertz, SIO 443. November 15, Radio Romania International at 2303 on 9530 kilohertz English, SIO 444. November 24, Radio Habana, Cuba on 15230 kilohertz from midnight onward, SIO 343. Listening to Latin music. And November 24, CRI via Cuba on 15120 from midnight 15 onward, Spanish language, SIO 222. Before I end, I would like to greet everyone. Advance Merry Christmas. Maligayang Pasko sa lahat. We have a special QSL card just for you. For your reception report, please send 1 IRC International Reply Coupon or 2 US dollar. Return postage will be greatly appreciated. And friends, if you want to get the transcript of today's Pilipinas DX News and see our QSL card series, please visit http://pilipinasdx.wordpress.com. That's http://pilipinasdx.wordpress.com or http://pilipinasdx.blogspot.com. Follow us also on Facebook, facebook.com/pilipinasdx, or you want to send us your comments, suggestions, reception logs, and informations to pilipinasdx@yahoo.com. That's PILIPINSDX for pilipinasdx@yahoo.com. This has been Henry Manay for Wavescan in Antique, Central Philippines, saying mabuhay at maraming salamat po.
Thank you very much, Henry, and Merry Christmas. Feliz Navidad to you there in the Philippines. Now we have a couple of DX news flashes to mention. Last week we told you about the sudden cancellation by Radio Exterior de España of its shortwave broadcast to Europe and North America. Well, this week Fernando Almarza of REE tells us that they have sort of reversed their decision, and they will be broadcasting in shortwave to Europe and North America with English and French programs, and some weekend sports programs in Spanish to Europe. So some good news there from Radio Exterior de España. Also, our friends at Spaceline in Bulgaria, Venceslav Georgiev, tells us that the DRM Mix program will be restarted on the 22nd of November. This is a transmission in DRM mode, and they will have 4 broadcasts at least on the 22nd, the 23rd, the 25th, and 26th of December. Wavescan is going to be part of these transmissions at 1700 to 1730 UTC on those same days, December 22nd, 23rd, 25th, and 26th. The frequency will be 9755 kilohertz from Bulgaria, covering Europe with 100 kilowatts. We end today's edition of Wavescan with music from the central region of France. This is Yves Jamais and the song called Dijon. Thanks for listening to Wavescan, the weekly DX program from Adventist World Radio, researched and written by Adrian Peterson in Indianapolis. Next week, South Pacific Panorama, Radio New Zealand on shortwave, on-air personalities. Our Ancient DX report for 1902, and our DX report from Bangladesh. If you'd like a Wavescan QSL card, you can send reports to Wavescan, Box 29235, Indianapolis, Indiana, 46229, USA. That's Wavescan, Box 29235, Indianapolis, Indiana, 46229, USA. You can email us at wavescan@awr.org. That's wavescan@awr.org. I'm Jeff White at WRMI in Miami. Till next week, good listening and Merry Christmas, everyone.
Mais tu es longue à décoincer, à te bouger les fesses. Aussi j'ai voulu te quitter pour une autre plus littorale. Bien que la fille fût décellée, me manquait mon canal. Et vois-tu, je suis revenu, ma précieuse bourgeoise. Et je ne te quitterai jamais plus pour une plus grivoise. Je te salue, ma belle Dijon, ô maîtresse Burgonde. Je te salue, ma vieille Dijon, et nulle part au monde je n'aurais voulu naître